Hi, good evening to everyone. Welcome to one and all wherever you are viewing tonight. We thank you for joining us. Uh, my name is Colleen Aberdeen Duncan, and tonight I'm here with some of our young people from our church, and we are discussing the topic, as you would have seen advertised, overcoming temptations. Now, we all know as youth, it's a touchy subject that we all have to encounter at some time. But by the grace of God, we have been continuing on our journey. And so we are here just to share with you a little bit about what we have been experiencing. So I'll let my fellow hosts this evening introduce themselves. You start.
Hi, my name is Rhonda. Good night.
My name is Chandra Avadi.
Hi, good night. My name is Odessa Mohammed.
Good night to everyone. I am Taniu Kidi.
Yeah, so like I said, tonight we are talking about overcoming temptations. And for some of us, over the years, going through school, going through work, whatever sphere of life we may have been in, at some point, we have been tempted. Even to this day, we all go through life with temptations at some point. Now, it has not been easy. Even Christ himself was tempted. And so it's something that we have to discuss tonight, understanding that we all go through temptations. But how do we deal with it at the end of the day? So we realize that one of the greatest reasons reasons that we fall into temptation many times, because temptation in itself is not a sin, but what we do when temptation comes. And we understand that a lot of times we fall into temptation sometimes not because we on our own we choose to do it, but sometimes we have friends that influence us in these areas, in all different kinds of areas, whether it be maybe sex, drugs, alcohol, you name it. There are so many different avenues for young people to do all kinds of things these days, right? But we realize that a lot of times we are influenced somehow by, if it's not persons, some external force. And it's not always easiest to deal with. So firstly, we want to talk about peer pressure, right? So each one of us, we're going to share a little bit about our personal experiences dealing with peer pressure. Do you want to start with her?
So, peer pressure. When I was going to school, I was just trying to fit in, and everybody was doing stuff, and you just want to fall in the crowd and just feel accepted. So, what it wasn't to the extent of what it is now, where sex is just so prevalent. Yeah. But it's something. Yeah. So we do that kind of thing. Alcohol, yes, I was involved in that. Gossiping, bad mountain, pizza, all these kind of things. School has so much things that you can get just carried away with, just to fit in, just to be accepted by peers. And real peers, because real friends don't carry on that road. But now I know better. As I said, and I just did what I felt was needed at that time. Even if I didn't feel comfortable, I just wanted to be accepted. So yeah, that's my little thing there.
For me, peer pressure have been not just wanting to fit in, but just the company I would keep. And for some reason, ever since I started school, the connection would be to the bad boys in school. And it's not I want to fit in because Jonathan don't care. But at the end of the day, you're attracted to a certain company, and for a period of time, I grew up in a house with me ain't nothing like cussing. I cussing with classmates. I mean, certain things that really and truly not morally, ethically right was in practice. And from knowing that kind of space, knowing that, okay, checking myself and knowing, hey, what it is that really have me in this space is the company I keep. And that to me was critical in knowing that, hey, watch myself and seeing that I work out that situation for myself.
So you just like me, right? So we grew up in these Christian homes where our parents are out there preaching, right? And I don't know, I don't know what it is, but you grow up knowing exactly what you're supposed to do. And all of us, we grew up in sound homes, right? Our parents teach us the right things to do. And as young people, as we leave home, we are suddenly bombarded with all of these things that we know is not right, but we find ourselves getting involved in. And for me, while I was going to school, certain things didn't bother me. So like for you talk about cursing and that kind of thing. I mean, that didn't bother. I remember I had this friend, and I never used to curse or anything like that, right? They know me as quiet and unquiet. And so I would never curse or anything. But this one time, I remember my friend. We are still friends up today. But yeah, one of my friends, she came to me and everybody was like, yeah, Gil curse, not Gil curse. And I remember it's so good, like everybody around me, and I was like, curse, Gil curse. And forcing me to just say this one bad word, and they will feel so good about that, right? And I just kept ignoring them because it didn't really bother me. So at some point I was just fed up and I was like, I just used that word. And the thing is, after that I kept thinking, why I do that? Like, and for some of us, peer pressure might be like that. They might be in your face all the time, like, do this, do this, do this. But it isn't always that way, right? And we have to understand that, peer pressure comes in all kinds of forms and fashion. And so you just have to, like, see it and notice where to get on, where to get on. That makes sense. I read that definition.
Well, as a young person in school, people have tried to influence me in getting to relationships that weren't of God. And it really affected me because I couldn't believe that you're my friend and you didn't accept me for who I am and what I stand for. And at a point in time, I got really fed up and, I didn't go down, thank God that I didn't go down the bad way. I had praying parents and I got out of that friendship.
So, I'm a little twisted, yes, everybody has said they have been pressured. But I would say, yes, I have been pressured during school, yes, I have been pressured, but one thing I always choose my friends wisely, right? So, I wasn't that pressured, but yes, I had pressure. I had pressure. But it was not like pressure into cost. Right? However, I would say I was pressured socially in terms of accepting who I am, in terms of, like, for example, my size, right? For those of you who don't know, my nickname is Tinny, right? So yes, I've been thin, all the years of my life. And social media now they deceived me looking at these pictures of my friends, or just random pictures of how you should. That I'm talking about, like, when I'm deceived, right? I was like, picture, like, that a female should be slim, thick, and she should have everything in place and everything. So for that period in my life, it had affected me in terms of feeling pressure, like
people won't accept me, or like I will get a husband because I am not suited for, you know what,
Yeah.
male people. So that is it. That's what I would say. I was pressured socially in that way. But thank God that I was able during that season to recover that stage, right? I could say that knowing who I am in Christ, coming to know Christ and exactly what He had ordained me to be. My identity in Christ, that has changed my whole perspective. Pressure. And to you who are viewing, I mean, sometimes you may not like the size or who you are, but I'm here to encourage you. When you really find out who Christ says that you are, your mindset and everything will be totally different. So,
I think that is a trick, and the enemy has been using that trick from since the beginning of time, trying to deceive us into thinking that, you know, there is more that we should know, or there's more that we should try, or there's more. Just like even the garden, I keep thinking back about that, like it's the same trick. He's deceiving you into thinking, you know, that there's more, or you should taste this, or you should try this, or you should do this. And as young people, we tend to face that head on. I feel like it's in our face every day. You go to school this day, like Brenda was saying, sex now is everywhere. Like back then when we were going to school, I mean, I keep telling people, right? When I was in Form 1 was the first time I understood what a condom was, right? Now we have children in preschool telling you what these things are. So I mean, it is in your face everywhere all the time, and so now we have to deal with this, right? And so yeah, like I was saying, right? Well, you were saying that your friends, we have to be so careful about these people, because for you might have said, well, okay, I have to understand and choose my friends wisely. But for some of us, we just go into some friendships and it just, especially in school, some just can't happen naturally. You know, these are my classmates and you're around these people all the time, right? So how do we deal with these things, right? We have to, okay, you're my classmate, but you know, this is as far as it will go. But yeah, that deception has always been there.
yeah, and I want to add on to the enemy plan is to steal, kill, and destroy us, right? So he wants to steal the picture that God has for us as youth of how we ought to live this life, and that is his biggest aim, to steal that picture God has for us on how we ought to live as youth. So that's why I think youth are now conform to the things of this world, because the enemy is now painting a picture that is attractive, and that's where the temptation will be easily.
Yes, it's easier to
So I think that.
Yeah, well, I think sin is very attractive. It doesn't be like, I am sin. It don't come like that.
True.
It will be so nice and so subtle and so it doesn't even realize, it doesn't be aware that this is sin. You know, and it's so easy for your flesh to just because that's where we are. You know. And this is when the spirit man has to come in. You know, even when Jesus, after his fasting period, Satan tempted him and he was at the top and he said, throw yourself down and show yourself. But he trusted the Father, you know, and he didn't give in to what Satan wanted to accomplish. So Satan has his plans, you know, and for every season of your life he will try things, but there's a time you have to discern, and you can't discern by yourself. You need God, you need the Word, you need the Spirit to help you in that way. So that's where Christianity comes in. So
Yeah, but a lot of people now, well, youths now, they are running away from this whole God idea. So you don't want a relationship with God, right? But you want to be able to stand or withstand the things that come in against you. It just would work, right? It would work. But yeah, so we are talking about peer pressure, and all that comes with it. And one of the things I'm thinking that happens a lot of time is because young people now don't understand who they are, as she was mentioning. They don't understand who they are. So it is easy now to just go with the wrong crowd, go with whatever feels good, right? What do you think about that, John?
Because as a young person, you're looking for identity in this society, and I mean, positive thing as I would say, identify with the Savior, and to come to terms, the world so attractive in a place of, you know, you want to fit in, even if it is so wrong or morally, ethically disruptive to yourself in a sense, but coming to that place and knowing, hey, you want to identify with society. Society said jump, you want to jump 3 times. Not once and 3 times. God say sit down in a seat. Nah God, that's it too hot. And it's the identity, it's looking for identity in a young person that I think drives them to that point, because you want to identify with the crowd. You want to identify with the popular people, the ones who looking like that have it. But really and truly all they have is not it. And I mean, it's hard to really understand, because we might sometimes be in a space of, you know, what really, because you go through life asking a question, what really is it? What really is it? Until you really reach that point of really seeing which part, really and truly, until sometimes you're in the wrong situation and you understand that wasn't it. You know?
And it's sometimes it takes you to that point to realize.
Exactly.
And sometimes it's probably God's plan to take it.
Yeah, I guess, yeah, true.
Sometimes your breaking point is a certain point.
Exactly.
Yeah, but I think as an individual, it all comes down back to silence. But we just want to be comfortable in our own skin. So yes.
I think this is such a critical time of our lives. The way I see it is that if we don't grab hold of this time, I think that's why sometimes some persons are old and they deal with some things because they never, at this time here, they didn't. So at this point in time, remember we are searching now because we don't know who we are as individuals. So remember at this stage of your life, you're trying to form your identity. Now, when all kinds of things come now, you are asking yourself, is this it? So you end up in drugs. Is this it? I end up in homosexuality. Is this it? Is this it? And if you going on and on and on like that, and you lose yourself in this critical time here now, and so that years down the road, you're still trying to get out because, I don't understand what I'm saying, is that this time, I feel like this time is so critical. You know, it will either make who you are or break, I think, who you're supposed to be. And so if it is we don't understand or take hold of this time that we are in here, we could lose ourselves completely. So identity, I think, is a big thing. That's why sometimes I see men who are like 60-something and they suddenly decide that they want to be some kind of, I don't know if you all have ever seen that, but I be like, bro, what are you trying to do? Like, cool it all up, you know, like, you know, trying to get some kind of 20-year-old, no, it's serious. And I be like, you know, because some things just weren't dealt with when it was supposed to be dealt with. So I feel like this time is such a critical time for young people to understand who they are. And because I think the enemy knows that, he tends to try and bring all kinds of things our way that to cause us to stumble and fall.
Well, living righteous or serving Jesus Christ is very difficult because the devil will always send temptations your way.
Yeah.
And you see, it appears more difficult for us youths because it's not the norm. It's not what everyone does.
Yeah.
most people are more conformed in the world than others, and we as Christians, we as the youths in school or the job places, we are to be salt, we are to be light in the darkness. So I think that the devil is always there. He tries to make us feel as though our decision to serve Christ is wrong, and he will always try to make us feel as though that's not the right thing.
Yeah. That's true. It's a very, because the Bible does say, right, the enemy, Satan, he's after us. He wants to destroy our lives, like you say. But the word also says that he is as a roaring lion. He just there casually, right, well, let me wait and see what's going on with you then. No, he's looking for an opportunity to just take your life, to just, cause purpose, to just sift it away, right? So, like I said, this is a very critical time for us as young people. And so, yeah, we have to understand and know what we do, but we could only make it, with God. That's the only way I've seen that we can make it. So it's so sometimes the writing is much more difficult to do, it seems. Like as I said, everybody wants to go with the norm and what, everybody is doing this, so okay, let's just go with the flow. But we have to be willing to, like I would say, swim against the tide. We have to be willing to do that, otherwise we will just end up
In the current.
yeah, I mean, sorry. We will just end up just like that. So, yeah. But, another thing too, sometimes when we do end up in our mess, because we don't always make the right choices, right? Because, some things are by trial and error. It's like, okay, let me try this, no, again, okay. But we do make mistakes sometimes. And at that time though, sometimes we tend to want to run away from God or to hide from God, because we may feel like, okay, yes, I messed up, or I didn't get it right. But okay, tell me your experience. Have you ever had a time where you feel like, okay, I'm sorry to you, you feel like, okay, wow, this is a big mess. How do I recover from this? And you felt like I should hide from God.
Well, I wasn't hiding, but I was so in bondage, like Lazarus, just wrapped all over. It's sin, and it's like you ever feel like your heart hardened, and you feel like God in here. Like you want to come out, and just, but I didn't stop knocking, and I keep knocking, and he did enter. So that was a hard time for me, because I was in sexual immorality for a couple years, but and it stemmed from way back in my childhood. And if I didn't deal with it, no, I didn't. God reveals things here. I was in a place that I was dealing with some things that, like, how did I reach it? And then God showed me where it started from. As a child, I was abused. And that's why he took me back there to show me that. And it stemmed from there. As a child, again, I was exposed to pornography and all these sexual acts. And it was like a normal thing, All of us would sit and look at the television. Children accept what they see, they don't question anything, everybody. And then when you go to school, it's a normal thing. Not so prevalent as. So, all these things just keep wrapping me. It was easy for me to get into sexual activity at a young age. And be involved in that. That was a big struggle for me, And overcoming that now, it only took hope. So, my heart was hardened. I cried and cried and cried. Why can't I come out of this? You know, and you have to deal with things. It will just come just like that. You know, when you get saved, it will just come just like that. You have to deal with it. You have to pray about it. You have to find somebody to talk to. Find somebody you can trust and talk to. You know, confess your sin and pray with each other. That is how it's supposed to be. So and that helped me. But in that last couple of years, since I returned here, and you know, dealing with the things gradually, daily, I am able to be a better person today and overcome the temptations. You know, so thank God my heart from my heart.
Yeah, wow, that's something, because a lot of times we don't know how we get into some things. We sometimes as young people, even, you know, I was talking to a young man and he said, you know, sometimes you want to come out, but the stronghold, the bondage that you are in, I'm telling myself I must get out, but sometimes you can't see how you're just going to drop this thing. You can't see. And for me, right, I don't think that for me I was personally in any grand, well, I don't even want to get into small sin, big sin, right? But the thing is, like, for me, I didn't feel like I was so deep, like how she's talking about, you know. But I was at a place where I just, like she said, you're looking for somebody to talk to. And my problem is, I was running away from what my purpose in God was, right? And we all know running away from God is not, yeah, that's a whole different, it gets a lot of fish. But it's not the easiest thing that you could do, right? And so when you find yourself in that place, sometimes you really just don't know what to do. And I remember at that time I was crying out, and I was like, God, I need to talk to somebody. Because I really feel like that would have brought me the deliverance that I was searching for, right? Sometimes you just need to talk to somebody. The trick the enemy tells us is that you are alone in this thing. There's nobody else who can understand. And sometimes we find ourselves in places like that and we don't have any idea how to come out. But the thing is, God said in His word, He has already made a way of escape. And whatever form that comes in, sometimes we have to be open to hear God's voice, to know where we're going. And I remember I was searching for somebody to talk to, and I remember I was in my dorm sitting, and I remember scheming through in my mind every row in church. I was like, no, not you, no, not you, no. And I was like, Lord, just show me one person. And it's a real thing. And until I spoke about what I was going through, until I could talk about it, then did I feel some kind of relief and peace. But the trick, like I said, is that the enemy tends to try to deceive us into thinking that you are alone going through this. So now you want to commit suicide because, oh God, nobody will understand, and oh God, how I will look, and all these things, you know. But we have to know how to get out of that zone, and it doesn't come just as by the snap of your finger. We have to be willing, like you say, cry out to God over and over, you know, until you have to keep knocking. So if you're out there and you're in that place and you need that help, you need that, keep knocking. Like she said, she kept knocking, she kept calling out to God, right? And I mean, people like us, we just want to help somebody. So that's what we are talking about, right? Yeah, we are talking.
Going on to the factor that is, yes, knocking, but at the same time, staying at it, because sometimes you're in that position here, and yes, you know God is with you. Yes, you know I have this close friend I can talk to, but renewing your mind itself is a different aspect you need to go down to in getting over or overcoming that temptation or whatever it is. And not just seeing that you get there, but knowing that I get there and I'm going on, than just, okay, I get here and I'm comfortable. Because for me, also in that kind of position, I mean, at that space, knowing what it was,